You're listening to the Fortnite Community Podcast with your hosts, TwoLoud TX and Nolxero.
What up, and welcome to another episode of Fortnite Community Podcast. I'm your host, TwoLoud TX, and here with him today, the one, the only, the true 1 HP killer, Nolxero. What's going on, bro?
Oh, well, last night, some crazy Fortnite.
That's true.
One of the best games I ever had last night.
Yeah, you ended the round with like 19 kills in a solo, right? It was pretty dope.
Yeah. It was a duos. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a duos. We had Troy went down early.
I went down immediately. We landed at farms, and I died immediately.
I had 2 people on me at the house. You had 2 people on you at the little shack over by Long Barn. And I was just, once you went down, I killed the one guy's buddy at house. He took a jump pad, went to the woods behind the little place where you died. I went and took care of those 2 guys that killed you. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Balls to the wall. We're just going to go balls to the wall. I don't want to make Troy wait a long time to play another game with me. So, we're just going to do what we can do. And if we win, that wasn't even a thought of winning. I was just like, I'm just going to do what I do, and I'll die early, and I'll just go balls to the wall. And next thing I know, we're getting into final circle. There's 7 people left. And this always happens to me whenever I clutch a game like this. I have to kill everybody in final circle. So I enter final circle with 13 kills and get, like I said, there were 7 people left. I'm one of the 7. I had to kill all 6 of the other people so I could win that game.
Yeah, you got to go. We got to get that up there. We got to get that up on the YouTube so that everybody can see it.
I trimmed it.
It was a crazy game. I was getting hyped. And I told him afterwards, I was like, I don't even know if I can play right now. I'm shaking for you.
Man.
It was so crazy, man. One guy that's probably pretty familiar to those type of games is here with us today. The one, the only, Mr. MonsterDFace. What's going on, bro?
Hello. Thank you guys for having me.
Man,
what's going on, guys? Those guys tuning in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on and hanging out with us. Thank you for giving up your birthday weekend for Mrs. Lady D-Face over there. And her letting you hang out with us.
Valuable time here, guys.
yeah. So thanks to her.
This is I'm always happy to be on board to talk to the definitely to talk to the boys, part of the community. It's really really dope to me.
Well, as you know, and we were telling you, and I had a little bit of communication to you that I know our listeners have really been enjoying the tips that you've been bringing us the past couple of weeks that you didn't even know you were bringing us because I was just ripping them off your videos and putting them in.
I didn't know for a while.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I know everybody's really been enjoying that. So quick things out of the way here, guys. Continue with the iTunes reviews. We really appreciate it. Thanks for all the feedback. We've hit over 508,000 listens now on the RSS feed. So thank you guys so much for that. Make sure you go to podbean.com. And check us out there as well. I believe the direct link is fortnitepodcast.podbean.com. So you guys can go there as well. We're trying to catch up on all the episodes to put them on YouTube. We're 3 or 4 behind, but hopefully we'll get those caught up here in the next week or so. So if you guys do listen or have it rolling on the YouTube as well, you will see it there. And then if you got any emails, we have a couple of those. We'll address them at the end of the show. And thanks so much for keeping that coming. And, of course, this show is brought to you by Glomtom, glomtom.com. Use the code Fortnite for 5% off, and we appreciate everybody supporting us over there. I'm rolling through this stuff because I want to talk some more to MonsterDFace. And so let's go ahead and jump in and learn a little bit about this guy that has 2.2 million views on Twitch, over 147,000 followers, and YouTube over 41,000 subs, and he just got his first video to 100,000 views. Man, I'm super excited, man.
Yeah, the crazy part about the just past 100K is now we have over 4 videos with 100K plus.
Oh my gosh.
The one that literally just recently broke 100K is on its 5K away from 200K. So it's been it's been crazy. It's like a catalyst. I don't know, man. This ball's rolling so fast.
Man,
my YouTube numbers are soon gonna topple my Twitch numbers, which took me years to build. So.
Right.
It's it's been very crazy.
Well, let's jump in here and get to know you a little more.
right. So a little bit about myself. I did recently just turn 25. So my birthday was last week.
All right, there you go.
Oh,
Hey, you get
happy
you get a
birthday,
discount on
last week.
insurance now, bro.
There you go. I know, right? I know. So we're doing it. I'm from New York City. I born and raised in the Bronx. For anyone from that listens in from out there, what's up, y'all?
Do you know Jackie Chan?
No. But yeah, as of recently, a couple years ago, let's say 2 years ago, I moved to Florida. So I'm still on the East Coast. I live now in Florida.
What made you move to Florida, bro?
Oh yeah, just due to the development of my like Twitch channel and stuff. Living in New York City in an apartment that was like really tight, and I didn't have my own space in my own actual place.
Right.
I found housing in Florida. It was affordable for what I was making as a content creator. Obviously, the rent and stuff is so much different, and I had good internet, so I was all for it. And I just kind of took the leap of faith to really just dive deep into myself and my own content, and here we are.
Yeah, I saw a tweet. You
do.
actually sent out a tweet today, right? Kind of talking about how your dad thought you were crazy for.
Oh man, he thought I was crazy. Yeah, it's kind of ironic that I did talk about that today. I was just in like a motivational mood on Twitter.
Right. So tell us a little about that story.
Swings weekly. So about that, yeah, I was a recess aide in the Bronx. I worked for a school. I did receptionist, and I helped with the kids part time. And I was full-time college student, but at the same time, I was grinding Twitch. Back then, as things were kind of taking off, I just saw it as, no way, I think this is what it looks like to make it. I swear, like I'm having 50, 100 viewers. I think I'm making it.
Yeah.
And I try to explain, I try to explain this like, no, I'm telling you, I'm on some. And he thought I was crazy. I was like, listen, I'm making like as much hundreds of dollars on Twitch as I am here. What if I put 2 times as much time? I would rather just do that.
Right.
Be happy, play games. I'm still gonna pay my bills that I have to take care of. He thought I was nuts. I said, you know what? No, screw it. I'm out of here. So, as the year came to a closer, I told him I did not want to get rehired. And yeah, I just went all in on Twitch. I doubled my sub count, darn near triple my viewer count and all that good stuff. And it really was a great takeoff for me on Twitch. So
what year was that? Like how long ago was that?
So that was, oh boy, what year are we in right now? 2018. So I want to say it took me a year of grinding before I went full time. So I went full time. Let's see if I've 2 years here. So about 2015 into 16, I was pretty much going like full time. And I started my Twitch account in 2013 or 2012 or something like that. And I grinded for a whole year. Didn't like have any viewers. And then suddenly, as I started to gain popularity, I really just started learning. Because my problem back then was I didn't really study what I was doing.
Yeah, like the art of Twitch. Yeah.
Right. I didn't know that. I just got on just to play.
Yeah.
And when people started watching me, I guess that was part of the raw experience. Was I didn't give a damn who you were or whatever the case may have been. I was really just focusing on just having fun.
Right.
Sure.
And I guess that had a lot to do with how I just organically grew and I guess learned over time. But it's also part of the reason why now in this position I give back so much, because it's like, man, if I knew how to really set this thing up back then, with the amount of growth and the explosion that I had, it would be a different story. So
yeah, it's definitely a long road, and we've talked a little bit about that as well, like going through podcasting for the past 5 years and the struggle of going from no one listening to your show and how long it takes to get a view count or listen count in our day.
Absolutely.
And just being a content creator in general, right? I think no matter what media that you're doing, there's those moments, like you said, like you have 105 views, and you're like, that is a mark, right, in your career that you'll always remember, because it's like, dude, I remember when I first hit 100 views, right? I remember when I first hit 100 listens or 10 viewers on Twitch. Like, those are all milestones, and I think there's a guy that has done content creation for a long time that I listen to, and a lot of people that play Destiny probably know him, but his name's Gathalion. He's a streamer. And the big thing that, like, I've heard him talk before multiple times about, like, making sure, like, don't compare yourself as a content creator to, like, somebody else, right? So when you're starting off doing Twitch, don't be like, man, Gathalion's got 6,000 viewers. I can't even get 10, right? It's like, no, like, celebrate those small accomplishments and try not to compare yourself to those other people. Because if you do, you will get discouraged and you won't get to take the steps like you took, man, where you're like, hey, Dad, I'm jumping off the bridge. I'm going to try this. And
I
think,
mean, even scarier for me is my background. I grew and blew up on Twitch with mobile games.
right.
So even picking up Fortnite was just like, you're gonna play what full time? What about this? I'm like, nah, this is what I want to do.
What game did you start with? Like, what did you?
I started
start with first?
I started with Battlefield. So I was like addicted to Battlefield 3. That transformed into like playing more open world games like Dark Souls and Skyrim and DayZ. But what made me really grow on Twitch was Clash of Clans, which was a mobile game.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was wondering if it was Clash of Clans or Clash Royale.
Right. It was Clash of Clans. I was one of the first mobile gamers on the platform. This all comes down to just being innovative and really doing what you enjoy. Because when I started it, there wasn't a community there, but there was a passion there for me to play the game that I was addicted to at the time. And
That's
that turned
awesome.
into something.
I didn't know you were. That's awesome. I did not know you were like one of the first people to do mobile gaming. It's actually pretty big now, especially with like Clash Royale.
I mean, we had a nice run with Clash Royale as well, but in some degree, like all these people that play mobile games, you know, I helped open that door and really make that an outlet and even something to be respected to some degree, because a lot of good, channel names out there now that make a living off it. So
yeah, I was gonna say, do you know any of like the big Clash people like that are big now? Like you got Molt, Nick and May, you guys, Clash with Ash, all that.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome, man! I didn't even know you were in that group of people. That's
dropping Monster D knowledge over here today. That's what we're doing.
So I built on that, and then
I'm a huge fan of Molt.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, I got to meet them in 42nd Street when they visited New York.
Oh wow, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
We got to hang out. Yep. And I'm actually good friends with Nick and Knight. I see him at a lot of events. We've that
guy seems like he's a lot of fun.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Seems like a fun-loving guy.
Yeah. So good people over there.
Awesome.
So obviously, your first multiplayer addiction being Battlefield, that got you into it. And I mean, what turned you on to Fortnite? Let's just go there. I mean,
what turned me on to Fortnite was that I liked Rust and building and bases.
Right.
So when I saw Fortnite taking that route in the the BR world, I was already a talented H1Z1 and PUBG player, but I wasn't getting the numbers necessarily because I was too late to the wave of BR.
Right.
But I was always familiar with like Rust and the build mechanics. So when I seen that, I already knew. I told my audience, like, guys, I'm gonna play this and I'm gonna get addicted. I know it. And I was like, you know what? Let's try it. It's free. We have nothing to lose. It's like playing a mobile game. You download and you go, right? So we did that, and I excelled. I was just like, yes, the speed, the building. I was like, this is crazy. And I got hooked.
So what do you think? Like Fortnite? Why do you think Fortnite was the game for you? Like, do you think it was like what you're saying? You weren't too late to the party. You were early this time. You knew it was coming, so you jumped in there and you saw that opportunity and seized it. Do you think that's why Fortnite was the game that kind of really helped propel you into that next level?
For me, honestly, it's not about being late to the party or anything like that, because I've always been the type to invest myself fully into whatever project and find success out of it, because I have no doubt in my skill. It's just commentator, entertainer, whatever it is I want to do. But yeah, for Fortnite, again, being early enough and really just learning the game with everyone else made it that much more magical, and also made it be that much more influential as we developed the game in the PvP scene, and getting to meet the Epic developers early on. All these things really just helped mold and shape the way I felt about the game, and just added more passion to how I felt about the game.
So tell us about that. Tell us about meeting Epic. Like, how was that?
Oh man, it was another big coincidence. So Epic Games has a smaller studio, part of them, called Chair Games, and I've worked the Chair Games on another mobile title. So it just so happened that I was playing Fortnite, and developers from Chair Games like, yo, Monster, you like that Fortnite game? Oh, let me introduce you to Epic. I'm like, wait. Why do you know Epic? And they were like, oh yeah, we're part of Epic. We're Chair Games. And I was like, no way, dude. And then I was just like, this is meant to be. Let's go. I was like, let's go. So went to TwitchCon, made a big, push to really meet them and slam a home run, and it worked out. They invited me to PlayStation Experience, and just from there, just kept meeting all these developers and investing myself in the community.
I think that's really
And,
cool. Like that's
really
it's
crazy.
really awesome to have studios that reach out to their content creators and really support them.
Yeah,
like,
I had no
like Epic
idea. I was
has.
just like, the way I saw it was like, man, you see, and this is why you don't know who you meet and why you want to be courteous to people and, show respect even to smaller, developers out
Right.
there in the community, because you don't know. Chair Games didn't necessarily even have a game done when they approached me. They just had an idea, and I was like, yeah, sure, let me hear it. And we had made a really good friendship out of that. And that turned into them introducing me to all the friends at Epic, which now look where we are. Like,
Yeah.
I just got my videos shouted out to their 1 million followers.
Yeah, 3.34 million concurrent players last Sunday. So that was
Crazy.
Dude, that's an insane number. And I was trying to put this in perspective for some people we were playing with in the community of the night. And I was just, I think there's something like 2 million people in Dallas, Texas, right? So like you're talking 3.34 million. That's more people that live in the Dallas DFW area. Like that
Insane.
is so many people. And Dallas and Fort Worth are like, one of the top, 10 at least, probably top 5 cities in America, right? So it's crazy how many people that is around the world playing this game at one time, which is awesome. So like, for you and for everybody else, and this is why I would say like there's a ton of great content creators in this community because there's so many people, right? And there's so many players in there and everybody's creating really good content. You got, you and Dakotas. I know you
There's
guys.
just so much talent.
Oh.
There's just so much talent.
And
that
so
it's really incredible to see all these different names shine and have their place at the top, just slowly getting there. Whether it be some people happen overnight, you see names now just blowing up out of nowhere. Obviously, I'm on the rise with the YouTube stuff, and it's just crazy how it all kind of happens.
Yeah, it's awesome to see. I mean, what do you think? Like, and I posed this question. I gave you a few questions that I was going to ask you before the show, and like. One of the ones that I wanted to talk about is a little bit about like what you've encountered and what we've encountered with you as well. You encountered with Dakotas and some of the other people you've done these spotlight videos on. But like, what do you think the group of content creators in this game particularly, and maybe even some of the YouTube guys, some of the Twitch guys, are so helpful to each other? Like, what do you think like brought that camaraderie together in content creators? Because it is way different than a lot of games communities.
Oh, absolutely. And I know exactly why, because the names that you see at the top now, they were all in our position 2 years ago where, we only had 100 viewers, no subscribers on YouTube, or, just really in the mud. And we were just trying our best to get on. And then suddenly, boom, this fire started. And we were able to make our names appear at the top. And we really do appreciate having the support of other people and watching other people grow, because we were just there not too long ago.
Right.
And it's because of Fortnite. So with all this, crazy new names on the come up, it's not like most of the other games where big names just go from being the biggest name, shift on over to new game, and then shut down everyone for potential growth.
Yeah.
This game has a skill cap level that some people can't compete with. It doesn't matter how good of a, CSGO shooter you are, or whatever the case may be. You can't build at the level that we've been able to, kind of the technique that we've mastered, and we're continuing to learn to play. So it really just allowed people to be standout.
As you know, and obviously your video series, your different playlist items show it, right? Is that one thing that you focus on a lot, and why we started taking out your content was like the tips, right? And the ability to break down the game and show, these segments of the game in smaller bites to learn and teach people. And as you said in your last video that you actually put up today was like, there's so many things you can continue to do. And that's the reason why this game, keeps pulling you back in over and over and over, is because you never know what's going to happen. And there's so many aspects to the game.
The game, when you're playing, the battlefield's always evolving, and it's part of that levolution, the building. You're never gonna be
the EA.
Yeah, like you're just never gonna be in the same situation, because the map is gonna change. You're gonna blink and that ramp is gone, and it just evolves so fast. And that's part of the reason why the How to Win series does so well, because when I take a game, this game cannot be like the last game, and it just won't. Loadout won't be the same. The map won't end in the same area. I won't have the same building materials. I won't be able to perform and build. I won't have a launch pad to get across this mountain.
Right.
This time we'll have to, run across. And walking through people these, in my footsteps, I feel like really gives people this insight that they probably didn't think of. They don't see anything, and I see a number of routes
Right.
And I just try to say this is why I took this route, and we won for a reason, right? So this is what led there.
Yeah, I mean, you said you spend so much time, like a video that takes 12 minutes. You spend like 3 hours not only editing it, but also looking at the footage and breaking it down for yourself so that you can make sense of it for everybody that's watching it as well.
Absolutely.
And that's just, it's incredible, man. And like, if you guys don't check out Monster's videos and you're like, man, I keep wanting to get better at this game, you got to check out his videos because that's what
to me, there's a difference with like taking a live stream, cutting it and pasting it. I could do that, but I'll take a live stream, strip the audio, and then walk you through an entire different experience that you couldn't experience during the live stream because I couldn't tell you why I did this. I just did it out of reaction, out of emotion, out of the situation. And of course, when I'm playing live, it's, hundreds of things sparking off at the same time to make the right decisions and play and be accurate and all that stuff. But when I get to sit down and watch it, I was like, dang, this happened. Well, I know I did this because of this. So let me tell you why. I can actually just breathe and talk about it instead of living through it where I can't say a word. I'm in adrenaline mode. I'm mouth closed, just playing.
Right.
Well, for those that obviously watch you, they know that what platform you play on, and I know you've played on console as well a little bit. So, like, tell us about the difference.
I like both.
Yeah.
I like both. For me, the Fortnite game experience in its own is so unique that even on console, it's a lot of fun. And I don't think there's any other game out there that I'll take from PC and play on console and still say I can have fun. And I'll wrap this around to like Battlefield. The reason I went from console to PC is because Battlefield 64-man server, to me, in my mind, was epic. Like, I literally had to get off, what's a 60-man game? What's a 12-man game? I don't want to play against 32 players, 32, 32, that magnitude. But Fortnite has that it's the same thing. It's on console. You still 100 players. You can build. You can do everything. It may not be the speed, but it's the experience. You can enjoy it. So,
yeah.
I love the console play. I love the PC play. I play more PC because of the speed and, the amount of things I can do. I'm more comfortable.
I found it weird that when I played on PC, I tried using a controller, and I actually didn't feel like extremely handicapped. Definitely there was, things that, were better, obviously, mouse and keyboard, but I tried playing it with my controller, and I was like, dude, I don't feel like it's unplayable. I don't feel like I should just stop.
It's not. It's completely doable. You have different level of talent out there. You're gonna come across people where you being just comfortable with what you do on the controller. You're gonna play better because you're comfortable.
Right. Well, and the other thing is I wanted to see like if there was a mapping I could find on PC that would work better for console. Because like as far as console goes, the only problem I have with console that I like the PC premise better is the building aspect. Right? Is being able to switch like y'all can on PC between building because. One of the biggest issues we've had for the longest time was the fact that, building was going, you'd have to switch through stuff to actually get to other building pieces and like ramps and stuff wouldn't pop up right away. So it becomes like a huge problem whenever you're like,
that little bit of input lag is definitely noticeable on console. And, I've experienced it. I mean, things are still doable, but I think for me, the biggest problem that Fortnite needs to address is remove the hold circle to edit, instead tap it. Once people can edit on the fly, just literally tap, boom, edit, the game's going to evolve for console players. You're going to be able to create these fast panels, create these fast doorways. It's not going to feel sluggish. It's not going to feel slow. It's not going to feel non-reactive because if you have to bail, you can bail. And that's part of the PC experience is that when you need that doorway and you make it, in a blink and you're gone, your enemy just doesn't know where you're at. You're gone. Yeah, on console, it's that little bit of hesitation. It allows your enemy to really keep track and stay with his claws on you.
Right. Well, not only that, but you get the way like once it puts you in there, you're kind of like almost like glued to it, right?
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so much stickier. There's a lot more friction on console, and that's what makes the combat a little bit less fluid. And that's why I know I get the questions in the comment section all the time, like, "But can you do this on console?" Like these tips are fundamental. They're universal. They work. You just have to be able to move at the speed. Yes, you're limited on console, but you're also going against limited players, so it's still an even field. They can do what you can do. You just have to be better and smarter.
Yeah. I think like and obviously they released this week, the Fortnite Battle Royale State of Deployment number 4. like their fourth big update of talking about like what they're doing and bringing it to. And that's one of the things they're working on is console controls and also optimizing the game for 60 frames per second. Like right now, we all play, or me and Nolxero, we play with uncapped frame rate on our console. I think the game feels a little better actually that way than it does.
It does. It feels a lot better with the frames on uncapped.
Yeah, and so they're trying to optimize it for 60 frames per second. So I'm like super excited to see where that goes. And obviously, they know that.
For me, I told them turn off shadows. Just kill the shadows. That's so much like usage, memory.
We don't need it.
Like, and it's a handicap. If you play with shadows on PC, you go in a tunnel. It's an actual tunnel. It's dark.
Right.
You turn them off. The tunnel is lit up. There's no shadows.
Right.
That it is a handicap. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of PC player that get on and they don't understand that having their shadows on medium, they can't see as well. People can hide a lot better, stuff like that.
Right.
Bush campers, if you're in a bush and you're the guy playing with shadows on, that bush looks so dark. The characters blend in better, right? It's just different. And you experience that on console. That's why people get upset. Can't see people in bushes. But a lot of it has to do with the shadows. So I hope Fortnite steps up because you know what? That option, man, people are gonna be happy.
Yeah,
I mean,
I can't wait.
Competitively, anybody that plays on PC is used to turning down graphics, turning down shadows, and all of those things to get that competitive edge. So, I mean, some people might be like, well, that's not fair, if these things look that way or feel that way. It's like, well, dude, that's how people, like, how the pros play. Like, that's exactly how the pros play. And so if they don't do it for you, like, you're just getting outplayed because of stuff like that. Not necessarily just stuff like that, but that's not helping you.
Right.
Yeah. Makes a little bit of a difference.
Oh, it does for sure. What's your plans, man? What's your plans for your YouTube? You got anything big you can tell us about that you got coming up or?
Yeah, I do. Like,
Teaser,
I have
maybe?
a lot of features. Yeah, I'll lay it on you guys. I have a lot of features, a lot of different content creators. Trust me, I see the comment section. You guys throw 110 names at me, and lucky for me, I'm friends with a lot of them.
Yeah,
and no one's declined me. No one has declined me yet. So, definitely got names coming up. I want to release them in the form of milestones, of course. I don't just want to flood my channel with other people.
Right.
Not that I don't like working with other people. It's just, it's so much easier for me to just get in my own bag, sit down, and do my thing, rather than like, hey, I need that footage tomorrow, bro. Come on, right? People don't have that work ethic, that grind as me. And I think a lot of it shows, and that's the only reason why I wouldn't release them sooner.
Right.
So I got stuff, and then of course I am planning on opening the series to the viewers, so people like average Joe players are gonna get their footage analyzed, broken down, and definitely slam with some extra additional help as far as
I like it.
What went wrong?
That's awesome.
How to improve. It's all part of the game. But you guys got to start getting your recordings going at good quality, please.
Yeah.
If you can get that, then it's gonna happen.
Well, let's jump in here and talk a little about Fortnite. I want to get your take on some of the Valentine's per se update, the crossbow, the shooting test. So let's jump over here and talk a little bit about that real quick. All right, so we had version 2.4.2 come out. And a lot of cool stuff happening. Obviously, we have the shooting test going on that we mentioned last week. But now they switched it from being on squads to being on solo mode. And that's the first thing I want to highlight real quick. Like, I want to know, how do you feel about it? Playing the game every day as much as you do, you got a lot more time with this mode than we have. I mean, we play, just to give you an idea, we typically play every night for 4 or 5 hours, okay? And so it's not, I would say we're more than a casual player because we're playing every night for that much, but we obviously don't spend days and look at the content as much as you do and be able to break it down like you do. So kind of give us your 2 cents on like how you feel about some of the changes we saw initially. And then obviously they did increase the shotgun damage back up to 200 from 150. So give us your take.
Well, to start off, I would like to just, really congratulate Epic Games on listening to the community and hearing when things are really not going well or like people are upset. They listen, they change. So the whole shotgun, the initial nerf was terrible. A lot of people felt it. You felt the nerf, and it just really takes away from the skilled players that are performing at these upper tier levels. Taking on full squads should be a rewarding feeling. It should be possible. So off the bat, taking the shotgun damage away, changed that. Like you couldn't Rambo a full team
Right.
because you were dodging shots and landing shots. So the change to 200% as far as the multiplier goes, I like it. It felt strong enough, not too weak. I understand things need a balance. I'm fine with that. Having the sure shot introduced to Fortnite as well, I thought was a step in the right direction. We need something to reward the player that actually seizes the opportunity to get behind a player and really take that shot, take your shot, right? I like the idea behind that. I like the reduction on the bloom across the board. It felt really good. As far as removing bloom period, I would have to experience that before I could really, say that this is what the game needs. I personally don't think that the game needs to go down the route of hit scan. I don't want it to feel like H1Z1 when you walk in, you get 2 tap and you're back in the lobby.
Right.
I don't care how fast the game loads up. I just don't want that experience. I like the little bit of RNG. I like the build battles, the extended fights. It feels good.
Yeah.
Damage fall off is nice. I like the patch. What didn't need to change was the SMG.
Yeah. Yeah.
The damage across the board buff was really strong.
Yeah, I think the you have a key there is like some of the RNG plays into this game of value, being able to give you that moment to build if you get shot a couple times, right? Instead of like 2 tapped and go back to lobby, like you said, like being able to counter a lot of your videos you've done and a lot of people discuss all the time, is like countering, that initial hit, right? And building up and using the basics of the game itself to do that. And so definitely, I'm with you on that. But one thing I really did like is I like that initial shot, right? Like the on target.
I'm a big fan for that. Unfortunately, though, there is balance tweaking needed behind it. The skilled players immediately realize that you could be crouched behind the wall, ready up your shot, quick peek up, pop a 1 tap, and go back down. Way too fast. If you peek up, Fortnite's got to make it so that shot resets on the crouch.
Right.
Yeah, but other than that, like the shot itself, having that mechanic, I like it. I like things that make the game a bit more complex, but don't overdo it. Don't take away from what the games already have done so good in so far, like with the bloom and stuff like that. Yeah. Even when they first reduced the bloom, I was against it. I like that maximum bloom. I didn't care if my shots. I was all for it. I was actually really enjoying the game even back then.
Right.
And when they made the bloom change, I was like, no, it's getting closer to H1. Don't do it.
Right.
And you're just getting closer and closer. It's like, guys, come on, stop it. Like, stay here. Work on other things, right? So, anyways, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
What about last two things as far as the shooting test go? I want to ask you about. First one being the scoped assault rifle. It had a big drop off, and then they fixed it where it no longer had drop off or fall off damage, right?
Right.
And they fixed it. I think that was definitely needed because that gun, like, for me, this is my take. I really like the idea of the gun, but I feel like it's not valuable enough to take one of my 5 slots. And so, like.
Yep.
How do you feel about it?
It's a preference thing. Yeah, it's definitely a preference thing because you have players like my good friend High Distortion that will take an ACOG rifle over a sniper, and it's because of math. Like the DPS that you can output if you do not miss, which you're probably not going to miss with that gun, versus you miss your 1 bolt shot, you lost 100 damage worth, right?
Right.
It really depends on the player and how he plays. But for me personally, I do think that gun needs a lot of love. I think it should have 0 bloom, consistent damage, and it should be that kind of gun. But personally, I don't really see I don't use it that much.
Yeah.
I'll take explosions over like an ACOG or something like that. If I really don't have any long range, it is what it is. You got to run it. It's not a terrible idea to have a long range, but yeah. That gun needs definitely some love.
I started the game loving that gun, and just over time.
Because when they released it, when it first came out, it had a crazy damage. It was accurate as it was, and then it just had a lot of damage.
That's how I felt. It was like at first I was like, dude, this gun is amazing.
It was crazy. It was crazy.
It's like tap, 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 you're down. Next guy, and then they started messing with it.
That was sad.
Right. The next thing I know, I'm like, dude, this gun sucks.
Right.
The more I played with it, it's just like,
they changed it to the point that it definitely needed some love. I like the damage buff. That was really nice. I like what they did with the semi-sniper. Underrated buff, but the semi-sniper buff was really heavy.
Yes, and it feels a lot better in the damage test or in the shooting test. Because that's another one. Like I was playing last night in a squad, and the thing for me is that gun seems to lack a certain weight that like the bolt has. Like to me, it just like the bolt has this weight to it that I can land my shot because of the weight of that gun. Where with the semi, dude, I miss shots left and right with that all the time because I feel like there's like no weight in the gun. So I don't know.
It's all a mind thing. When you're holding a bolt, you know, like, oh, I got to make this shot count. You're putting more emphasis into your shot, and then you're holding a semi.
It too.
You're psyching yourself out, like, oh, I got 10. I can keep tapping it. You're not putting that effort in. And that's why you're missing your shots, because the bullets travel the same and stuff.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So it is all a mind thing, though, for sure. That's another reason why a lot of times I run blue AR and people get upset about it. It's a damage difference, but it's also an intimidation factor.
I got
the AR is banging shots at you. The SCAR is like pew, pew, pew. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's a really good point.
I've definitely had moments where I'm like AR over the SCAR. Me and Troy don't like fight over the SCAR. We're like, y'all can have it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care that much. It doesn't matter to me. I think getting good, even like talk about like psychological, like just telling yourself like I'm gonna stick with a white AR and learn how to shoot it really well, right? And not blame it on I lost that fight because they had a blue AR and I had a white one, right?
Right.
And going through those aspects, I think is really good. The last thing I wanted to ask you about is obviously the bigger thing, and I know you've had your opinion. You've said multiple times on your videos about like the double pump, using double pump and the skill level that it takes, and then also how you don't want it necessarily taken out of the game. But then they came in, and they nerfed the shotguns like they did. They put them back up. And my question to you is like, do you think though, in the current state of how it sits outside the shooting test, that it needed to be addressed a little bit as far as the damage takeoff? And then second of all, like, do you think the change they've made is good enough?
No, I don't think the change they made is good enough. Not at all. Not even close. Personally, I feel like the damage reduction isn't the problem. It's the mechanic of the shotgun that is being exploited. Because I think double pump is an exploit because your DPS output is 2 times as high as any other weapon, like point blank, if you're efficient at swapping, which doesn't take long to do or learn, right? So off the rip, that's a problem. I love the idea of the double swap though. The playing it feels so good. You're just hitting bumpers, like you're pressing buttons, and it feels good. It feels really rewarding because it's a difficult mechanic to master, but it is a problem because of the damage output. I think a personal fix would be to nerf the total shells in the magazine of the shotgun. Like, don't have you have 10 amazing shots. Like, make it 3 and 3, so the pump has 3. So that whole bang, bang, bang. Now you're out. You got to reload. That's a nerf in its own. The problem is dudes have 10 shots.
Yeah.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They don't stop. 10 shots for each blast. That's a wood plank gone on the put down.
Yeah.
So you have 10 of those. You're burning through so much resource trying to fight against it, on top of the movement, on top of what's going on, and it hurts.
Right.
The reason I don't want to see the shotgun change necessarily damage-wise, because for me, I'm a single pump player primarily. That's because I like to hold forts. It's great. The pump shotgun is great at holding forts because you have the DPS to take off at height, like, these heights that you're holding inside your forts against ramp rushers and stuff like that. So there is a play style for it. Unfortunately, the double pump is the problem because of the amount of damage that it's output. Yes, it can be countered. I don't die to it very often, but that's not the problem here.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, Nolxero, I mean, you said many times, like, when you've even been trying to run the game without a shotgun lately, like, just to challenge it.
Last couple games, I haven't been running shotgun at all.
And
I mean, you can supplement the shotgun out for the SMG. It'll work. The high fire rate, if that's your thing. I've done it multiple times.
I just so I don't know if this is a problem on just console. Probably not. But like console, I've been having a lot of inconsistency lately with the shotgun. This is why I've been like, screw the shotgun, because I'll go with a pump and hit somebody with a 12 on their shield.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, dude, screw that. Like, I know at least with the SMG, like, if I hit a 12, well, yeah, that's because that's what the bullet does. Right. I can lay my shot down and get my kill.
I thought that as well. With the whole, like, they have the, I guess you can say, the technique to put, or the mechanic to put in the game of fall off damage. You could have it set to base damage. If you're point blank, it's going to do 90 body, XYZ face. And if you're at a certain range, it'll only do 30. They can do that to the shotgun. Will they try it? Who knows? They have this like really weird, it's hit scan, but it's pellets thing going on. And that's why you'll get those 9s and those 12s. Where if, I clearly record my gameplay, I'll run it back on stream. Like, guys, look at that box. That's a face. How did I get 40 damage on that?
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Is there's just times where I'm like, dude, I'm in this guy's chest, and he's taking 12 damage and walking away with, and
even in today's video, I uploaded. I clearly do this. Like, I ramp rush him when I take his base, build on his base, and then I edit down and I land on his head.
Yeah.
You look at the video. I point blank him for 90, like 92. And it was all face. How? It should have been a one-hit KO.
Right.
It's a game, I guess.
Yeah, it's just things like that get on my nerves. And, like, so one of the things I've told Troy and other people that we play with is for double pump. Because, people get pissed off and like, oh, how do we fix this? And I was like, one, if the notion is to get rid of the viability of double pump, I feel like the easiest way to fix that problem is to put basically both shotgun, like if you're carrying any two weapons, like put them on the same like cooldown shot, right? So if I take a shot with the pump shotgun switch, like the other one's on the same cooldown.
Personally, it should be as follows. You should have to repump your gun when you switch back to it. Because think of it as if the bolt action sniper, you pop a shot, you switch to your second bolt, and your last one reloads. The problem of the bolt is the long reload. Problem of the pump is the long. What's supposed to be is the pump.
Right.
That mechanic of pumping. So once you skip that, you're that's the expo. That's the gray area. So if they just make it so the gun has to be pumped when you reswitch, the new meta will be pumped semi, but it'll be cleaner. It'll be a bit more fair because the semi, has its areas that it just doesn't do that much damage at times.
Yeah, and it'll actually work more like how sniping, people run around with snipers. You go for that initial shot, switch quickly over to your SCAR or AR or whatever,
right,
to kind of finish that shot.
So
off.
that's how double pump should
right.
be. That
that's the fix.
You pump and then you pull out your second weapon and you do whatever. When you go back, you should have to like ready him.
Yeah,
and you can do that. A good player can do that. They can adjust that point to where. If you get hit with a double pump, the flaw of double pump, and the reason why the argument is if you build, you're fine, is because it only takes 2 shots. If you get hit with that pack a punch, that 1-2, you're going down.
Right.
So even if you nerf the double pump to the point to where you have to pump it, the amazing players are going to land their first 2, bang, bang, you're out. Yeah. I'm fine with that. Like, that's okay.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely. I hope they address it. We'll see what they do. And like you said, will they mess with the fall off damage? Initially,
right.
What will they do?
I don't think they should take the damage, because once they take the damage, they're turning the weapon into something that players that don't use that can't play other techniques and other styles. They're just eliminating an entire style of like play style.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
That's my problem.
I'm with you in the fact that I don't want to see it removed, because like sometimes those events where you're still going to get those crazy shotgun headshots, and you're taking on a team of 4, it's a 1v4, like, and somebody uses that.
You should be able to pump, like, you should be able to be on 10 HP, turtle yourself in a box, and just know that, man, when I come out of here, I got one shot.
Yeah.
One shot to put this guy down.
That's what creates what creates those, like, oh my God moments, right? And especially when you're streaming, you see those a lot, right? And people are in chat.
If it's not like that, then I'm running Blue Magnum. Like, I need that one shot, all right? Just let me headshot, because that's what we're doing with the pump. We're aiming for the face.
Right. No,
it's the same thing. If I got a Blue Magnum, give me one of the chambers, all I need.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Yeah, I agree. And Troy had said this when we were playing the shooting test, because, like, I think I just got tired of shotgun for so long that I was like, I just kill the shotgun. Because on console, dude, I can't tell you how many times where I feel like some trash player hits me from something, and it's just like, oh my God, like I just died because this dude had a shotgun. Like, he had a shotgun, and that's why he won. Like, and I understand, like, you always need to evaluate yourself and the things you're doing, because that's what me and Troy constantly do. Like, when we come out of a game, we're always like, we could have done this. Why did I do this?
Why did I go under the
stairs?
Yeah.
Why did I go under the stairs where I figured he probably would be and have a shotgun? Stuff like that. Like, there's we constantly go over those games, but man, there's just sometimes where you're like, I can't believe this guy's going to get that one kill and not win the game because that's his tactic. Like, he's going to sit back with the shotgun. Like, oh, look at me.
Yeah, sit in the bush and wait for us to go past him with a shotgun. Yeah.
Right, but I do agree with what you're saying. Like what Troy said when we were playing that night on the shooting test is like you don't want to take away the ability to have those oh my god moments. Like, I can't believe he just did that. And so I do agree. Like, killing the shotgun's probably a bad idea. I do like kind of what we're talking about here is like giving it another viability where it's like using that pump for that initial burst, getting some extra damage. I think my biggest problem with pump shotguns, they seem to have like some stupid range sometimes. There are some times where I get hit with a pump shotgun from a distance that
there's
I'm
been
like,
times I've done
how
I've
the
done
hell
the
did he
damage.
just take my shield and half my health from that distance? I don't understand. If I point blank him, I'm gonna get 14 damage. This dude just took 150.
I think it's a double-edged sword. There's times where I'm like, man, I love that you could do that, and then it sounds like, dang, he just kept me with that, like serious.
Right.
But, you know, to me, I would rather that like don't try and fix what isn't completely broken. I think the broken part is the mechanic of, you know, just too much in the clip. Nerf the clip of the gun. Put 3 and 3 in the pumps. Keep the damage up. Keep the range the way it is, because it used to be a lot worse. There was a point where the pump could actually do a height of 3 to 4 and do as much damage, like pretty much across the board.
Right.
That was when it was broken. They fixed it to the point it was good enough for players that wanted to aim it. Of course, the double pump mechanic went a little bit viral. People found a gray area for excessive damage. They just got to fix the gray area. Don't necessarily take all the damage away. And I think the shotgun would be in a nice place.
Yeah, I mean, because it makes total sense. You get hit with the shotgun at that range, that's a lot of damage. You need to be, obviously Fortnite's not based in reality, but if you think about it in realistic terms, like, it would make sense to get hit with the shotgun in the face that you're going to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of good ideas in order to change it, and we'll see. Before we move on from this into our next section, I want to ask you, MonsterDFace, what do you think about the crossbow, bro? How do you feel about it?
Okay. I really like it. I think it's a perfect medium of the scope they used is not a sniper scope, which balances it off the rip. I like the 5 shots, extremely suppressed, silent, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And
it does respectable damage. It can hedge. It pretty much is like, a semi, has the damage of a semi sniper. And it's nice. It's nice. I like it. The unlimited whole ammo thing, I like that because it's another little thing. Like, I don't want to have to search for bolts, right? I don't want to have to worry about that.
Right.
Having that just on deck, on cue, it's a nice touch to the game. And I hope they add more things like that. Like if they add, I don't know, a weapon fueled by electricity that you charge up or something like that.
Right.
It's unlimited. It's not a currency or something that you got to find a material in the game. It's just ready.
What if it only had so many shots? Like, what if you picked up a weapon? Like, what if they made a weapon that was like, 30 shots?
I mean, you could pick up they could say right now the bow's going to only be 20
right.
and that will be fine. You're probably not going to shoot 20 arrows in the game. You know what I mean?
It just depends.
Well, I guess it depends who you are. I only need 2 shots, right? Like, head done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it does depend who you are. But I wouldn't be upset with that. If you pick up the crossbow and it has like pretty much a time limit of life on it, which would be
right.
That those 20 shots or whatever case may be. To me, it's like having a trap.
That's a good idea.
Where you put it is where it stays. Yeah. It's still good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and jump into our tips section. And by MonsterDFace, we got another video. You're going to get to hear yourself for once.
Oh, God.
So here
okay.
we go.
Cool.
If you ask, do we have tips? Of course. And do we have tricks? Oh, yes, we do. So listen up.
All right, so this is coming from this really cool YouTuber, MonsterDFace's video, How to Win Fortnite number 12. So we're gonna check this out. Gunfights, I believe it is, from your Gunfight series. But this is about being an aggressive player. So I've kind of diced this one up. This video, you break down a lot of different things in this video. But I'm going to go ahead and sit back. You can hear yourself.
Let's go on and talk about this engagement and immediately jump off with tips to giving aggression. So when it comes down to adding pressure to an opponent, notice here, as soon as I engage onto this player, I, set up a defensive structure. That's a quick wall and a ramp so I can go ahead and get a little bit of height advantage over this player using the mountain to my advantage. And then I just start bursting down his walls. Now, I was using the normal AR, and if you notice closely, when I start pumping that trigger, I don't stop. I blow through his walls, I track him down perfectly, and I pretty much end up laser beaming him up. So I'll be giving tips to giving pressure and receiving pressure. Now notice off the rip, I spot a character and I blam him with a headshot. Now fighting my next target, I immediately start to push that player. He takes a couple shots at me, but notice how I am constantly pushing forward. This is what we would consider giving pressure. Shooting when you see your target and putting that player down. It's especially effective when you start landing shots. You can apply pressure without landing any shots, and that's just you ineffectively applying pressure. To some degree, if you are shooting at someone and you're not landing any shots, that person feels confident and he starts to build confidence to counterfight you. So I know it may sound basic, but if you are shooting at a player and you're not landing any shots, trust and believe me, you're not doing an effective job of pressuring. Now, RPG in this game is probably one of the best weapons when it comes down to applying pressure. And really that goes for any explosive item. Grenade launcher, RPG, and grenades. These three items are the most effective when it comes down to applying pressure. A big tip to applying pressure is to use every single weapon in your arsenal. Notice there, I land a snipe shot and then I immediately switch over to the rifle and I start blamming him up. As I'm blazing down his walls, he's going for cover. I'm going to push him right away. When you're pushing a player and you're chasing down weak targets, you don't want to give them an opportunity to heal. So I'm going straight in from long range to medium range to close range. You pretty much don't allow them to breathe. This is what applying pressure looks like. You're pushing, you're landing shots, and you're keeping that person way off his toes. Even if you're caught off guard, you can turn a fight around just by being the aggressor and landing your shots. Now, I know landing shots may be difficult for some, but this is, of course, along the lines of being an effective, aggressive player.
So obviously you're breaking down there, multiple aspects of being aggressive and, using your arsenal, different things like that. Is that super weird for you to hear yourself, like, give a tip?
No, because, when you start to do content and, even my YouTube videos, before I release them, I have to listen to them. I can't just think I did a perfect job. I have to run it back. And when it comes down to editing, it is still, I get annoyed at my own voice sometimes when I'm hearing the same sentence back to back. And I'm like, all right, I gotta, chop this piece. What I say here, let's see if it sounds clean. All right, run it back one more time. All right, to make sure I get the analysis right.
Right.
When it comes down to breaking it down. So yeah, even listening to it now, I could add on to that because there's so many little things. Like when it comes down to giving pressure again to players, landing shots, it's all a part of the psych too. Like that idea of, oh, he's not hitting me, the opponent is thinking he can't aim, I'm gonna fight back, this is a fight I can win. Confidence is huge in this game.
Right.
Confidence changes how you feel, it changes how you perform. If your person's not feeling confident, he's building nerves, he's feeling, he's getting that pressure, he's sweaty, he's not gonna hit the right buttons, he's losing it.
Right.
You start losing control of the field. So when you have control of the field, that's where you're dominating. You're a titan out there. You're a dangerous force.
So one thing I think that you said in here that is something I pick up a lot from videos or watching streams is using your arsenal, right? Switching real quickly. If you miss that, even if you miss the snipe shot, in that video you hit the snipe shot and then you switch over to your scar. But like even if you miss that snipe shot, don't sit there and reload another sniper. Like switch to another weapon, right? And put that pressure on.
Right.
And I think a lot of people make that mistake. Like they're reloading their sniper. Like, oh, I gotta, shoot
it's like forgetting you have an SMG or light ammo. That stuff is great for breaking walls because you're probably not going to kill anyone with it. But instead of disposing all of your medium ammo, which is so rare, use that SMG. Just break those walls down. Make them feel that pressure. We
used that tip already, like 3 or 4 episodes ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that time and time again, you sometimes just have to be reminded or experience it to really see its full effectiveness.
So there's 2 things I wanted to ask you, and as you go on, if you guys get a chance to go watch this video, like I said, how to win gunfights. This is the Fortnite number 12. Like the big thing here that I noticed that you kept doing is at the time, this has nothing to do with like swapping weapons or anything like that, or being aggressive, putting pressure on. At least from how I'm looking at it, but like every tower you built, and you do this a lot, even when I was watching you stream today. like, you know, you build a 1x1 tower, you're always putting like a spike trap at the top of it or in the level right below you.
Yep.
Why do you do that?
Oh, put yourself in a different situation. How often do you jump in a base without looking at it?
A ton.
You jump in all the time. You're like, oh, this one's empty. I'm going in.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
You get hit by my trap. You shouldn't have went in my base when I wasn't there. Or another way I'll look at it is if I'm in a really strong spot, let's say outside of Salty Springs and one of those mountains, there's only a few of them, and the end game's going there. I'm gonna put maybe a spike trap in the middle of my base because I'm not afraid to edit my way down my base. And if you are crazy enough to try and break your way down and follow me in, which people are, they just do weird things.
Yeah.
You're going to get hit on layer 2 with a mean trap.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be ready for it. But yeah, you know, it's just, you never know. And a lot of the times too, when you're in a base and you're playing the base, there are times when someone's going to get that advantage over you and it's okay to edit down and they'll jump right in without realizing they'll take a hit. That's where the game suddenly changes. You lost 150, HP, all armor gone, all HP gone. And I can hear you if you start to heal. That's where I can turn the whole game around. Right. I can edit my way up. I can build my way back out.
Man, we got
traps, man.
We got MonsterDFace tips just coming out today, bro. Being aggressive, editing your way out, putting traps up. The other thing,
no sense in having them if the game's over. So
that's true. That's true. And that dude, actually, you say that. The other day, I finished a game and I had 7 traps left, and I was like, I didn't even use any of those traps. You could have
had them rigged up all over the place.
I mean, it's a great idea. Like, so guys, if you do find yourself like me getting to the end of the game, you're like, I never use those traps. Start doing what Monster does. You never know. You might get some extra kills out of it. Throw them in your 1x1 towers or any structure you're making. The last thing I wanted to grab from that video that we didn't get to hear, you kind of say something to that effect of refereeing the fight, right? Like, let these guys fight their way. Listen your way over to that fight, and then referee it, right?
Yeah.
And talk a little bit about that.
Okay. There's a couple of like small, I guess, like terminology and things that I've created just from, I guess, playing. But yeah, refereeing the fight is when you hear a fight break out and you get over onto it. Now it's not necessarily your fight to just, you don't want to just kill the guy in front of you. Maybe you want to kill the guy who has the big base. You should always definitely prioritize dangerous targets. Kill the guy with the RPG. Kill the guy with the grenade launcher. Because when that second threat's gone and it's you versus him, now what kind of favorable situation you want to make sure you're in? You want to make sure the guy at the high ground is gone. You want to make sure the guy that's not looking at you, doesn't see you, stays like that. Focus on the guy he's looking at because you still have the element of surprise. Keep it.
Wow.
And this happened the other day. I was fighting a player. We pursued into a crazy fight. It was a build battle. Someone got into the fight. That guy turned around to obviously handle his immediate threat, which was the right thing to do. Instead of me killing the injured player that I was chasing, I didn't care about the numbers of the kills. I used him and we lasered the guy that came up on the fight. And he had full shield. He was gone. We looked like teamers, but we weren't.
Wow.
We focused that guy that just came in here. I was like, oh no, you're messing with the wrong fight. Boom, you're gone. And then I finished up the weak target.
That's a really good point. Hey, that's
refereeing the fight. It's controlling the atmosphere. It's your ring. You decide who dies first and why.
Do you have a video on that yet? On refereeing the fight?
I do have. Well, it's kind of funny that you say that. Pro tips number 14 called timing. We do that video is amazing because not only is there the timing aspect, the secret of coming up into fight and deciding when it's time to take a fight, disengage from a fight, or prioritize a target. We do all those things. And in that video, interesting enough, I put a spike track down in Tilted Towers that racks me like 5 or so kills while I'm in the middle of another fight. So it was really bizarre. I'm just getting kills while killing people. It was really weird.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty sure it's pro tips number 14. It's got a lot of views and it's a really nice video. I think that's the one.
Good.
Because I talk about all these things, but I try in my How to Win series to choose games that I do a lot of one thing,
right,
and then really highlight that and emphasize it throughout the game. Because of course there's so much that goes on. I always naturally talk about everything. But when a video has a lot of one thing, those are the ones that I want to showcase. Those are the ones that I want to analyze and really teach people, the weak points of that.
Right. Well, let's go ahead and jump over, man. Thank you so much for dropping all these tips. These are crazy. This episode is full of tips by MonsterDFace. So
You're welcome, man.
let's go ahead and jump over to our last section here, so I can let you go and get on your way with Lady D-Face and her birthday weekend here. Let's jump over to this week's Reddit topic of the week.
I'm gonna tell the world.
Fortnite Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and efficacy.
Ooh, look at my
Fortnite
post.
Reddit is the place to be for videos and memes and efficacy.
Ooh, I wanna show Epic.
Fortnite and Fortnite BI.
All right, so the big thing on Reddit right now is, and it's sticky actually, is the SMM, which is the skill-based matchmaking discussion, and it's going on. There's a survey up there for you guys to take. So if you go to reddit.com/r/FortniteBR, there's a survey you can take that's actually talking about, it's an unofficial survey, but it's talking about, what skill-based matchmaking is. Do you like it? Do you not want it? And Epic actually commented on one of them as well. So you guys can go there, and Epic's feedback on it basically was, we received a huge amount of feedback in regards to the line about improving matchmaking and distribution of skills in yesterday's State of Deployment blog. We appreciate all the time that you've taken to voice your concerns and opinions on this. It's certainly in an area that is easy to take in the wrong direction, and we'll be sorting through all the feedback and reevaluate the next steps with it all in mind. And that's actually their post from the Reddit. I just have a quick, and we can blow through this, but what do you think, MonsterDFace, about skill-based matchmaking? Does it have a place here in Fortnite?
I would definitely like to see an area, maybe not necessarily the way it's stated here, like skill-based matchmaking. I wouldn't want anything that's going to eliminate the fast queue time that they've already developed. The flow game, right? The flow of the game feels really good. You're in and out.
Right.
You don't want that to go. And I do think there has to be some kind of fix, because I'm pretty sure there is a really odd statistic of 4 or 5 really good players land in the same game. Those guys are like 99% going to win. One of them. And it's probably the reason why they know they need to do something. And I'm not necessarily sure if adding a ranked queue versus a casual queue is the answer, because what I wouldn't want to see is something like CSGO, the point where like this rank matters, salt spreads and, the hacks come out because people think they need to be this,
right,
prestigious rank. You don't want to be there. The game should not ever go there. Even this whole esports talk, this game is not ready. It's not even near ready. When you look at like input lag, right? The game is just not even fully ready, in my opinion, for a lot of this stuff. And when it comes down to matchmaking and things of this nature, I think there's a topic that's a little bit irrelevant at the moment. I would rather see bug fixes, right?
Right.
Less content, more bug fixes, and opposed to like this focus of matchmaking that's kind of spreading everywhere.
Right.
I personally think that something needs to be done here where you can get your taste of high tier when you want it, but not necessarily to the point to where, we need 2 queues or something like that to display that you're amazing, right? I don't want to have to, this season I'm getting reset again. I got to show I'm global elite again or something like that, right? Whatever they end up naming. I'm royalty again. I don't care about that. It's annoying to have to fight for that. It becomes a burden rather than, a passion and love to play the game.
Nolxero, what about you? I mean, we've talked a lot about your history and playing, hours and hours of Halo and competing. We both competed at Gears at a high level. How do you feel about this skill-based matchmaking? What do you think?
I kind of take the same approach. I don't know that I want to see another queue where it's fighting for a rank, especially when ranks get reset. I mean, look at like some of the games we talked about at the start of this, like Clash Royale, and some of those guys.
I hated having to regrind or losing. Right, like losing a raid and you fall. Like it sucks, and it's more frustrating than it is rewarding, because once you get there and you're part of the top 1%. To have to prove that you're the top 1% over and over it's more annoying. It's more of a burden. You lose the passion. You lose the players that are there, right? Yeah. Talent should speak for itself. And like I said, if you want your dose of competition or something, make something a little different.
Yeah, and it's also nice to, as opposed to like playing, like back in the day, you play Halo ranked, right? You're facing people that are pretty sweaty. Now, do you steamroll some of those teams? Yeah, absolutely. But that's what I like here is I don't have to like pick a playlist to say like I just feel like having fun and stomping some people, so let me go play the casual mode. I like that some games I get into, it's super sweaty, and I'm like, holy crap,
honestly,
these guys I've played some good people here.
Right.
I have a good idea. How about this? Make a rank in the casual, but make your casual wins count to your ranked win. And what that means is maybe get 2 times the elo if you go into a ranked game. All right? Play it off an elo system. Play it off, or you play casual, maybe you just don't lose as much.
Right.
Or something like that. Don't take it to where like you're really splitting up all the player base and the feels of the game. I don't know. Epic's done a really good job of finding these really happy mediums between the two things and like the best of both worlds and putting that into their game. It's really made them stand out and unique. Like you can even think of the the approach to what they recently add, like the game. Let's say the 50v50. They were first to do it, but like people always wanted it, but people didn't want this or that. They did it. They tried different things and they were successful. And so it makes their game a little bit stand out. Taking the way they do the leaderboards, total wins, not kills, not games played, but total win. It's a little bit of both. It's nice. They could do the same thing for a rank system. A little bit of both, make it nice, make it sweet. But I just don't think that it really needs it right now. The game's a lot of fun. Don't overcomplicate it because then you're going to lose the casual. And the tryhards are going to be more annoyed than happy.
Yeah, I think this community, they've done a really good job right now at, keeping that happy medium, especially when it comes to, the more hardcore gamer per se versus more casual gamer, how they melt that together. One of the things that I said, I took the survey. One of the things I said was, what I don't want is that ability to always win a game for any person, right? So, in other words, if you have a skill-based matchmaking and it's always matchmaking you, say you go in, I go in with a buddy, and I take a buddy in that's not very good at the game or is fairly new, because more and more, I think new people are going to keep playing the game, right? And I think the community is going to continue to grow. But if I take somebody in there to show them this game, and I'm like, let's go play duos, but my skill level's high, he's not going to have a fun time.
It's not going to... Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not going to be a fun time. You know what people are going to do? It's a free game. They're going to smurf.
Yeah.
They're going to make a new account. They're going to change their name, and they're going to steamroll. Literally steamroll. If you do that, I can make a new account in 2 seconds, and just... It will be sad.
Yeah.
It would be very sad.
That's what people have done in other games, in other ELO games.
That's what they do.
They do it in League.
They don't want to lose
all
rank.
time.
Every single game with this kind of system, you see it. They'll make a new account that they have nothing to lose on, either be cheating on it or just be extremely skilled and go against the casuals. And really, it's not fun.
I think they should continue to go with the idea of, how many wins you have, maybe how much time you've invested in the game and show those things a little different. Maybe it's, a certain logo you get or a patch you get or whatever it is, right? Or, maybe when you get to 500 wins, you get a special skin just to say, like, you've dedicated this much time to the game. You're a fan of the game. You play so much. I think that's a better way to go until they, if they do take this game to esports level and it becomes a true esport, like, at that time, that zone can be for those people. Like, you don't need another platform.
I would say even as far as esports go, this game in the esports competitive scene, in my opinion, could probably hold a roster of no more than 50 in the world. Just the way it works out, maybe like there has to be rules set into that, and that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
But I've talked about that as well. It shouldn't be a 100-man esport game. Probably like I could see 50 players, so people can dominate POIs, get their wood right, get their resources right. You can really see what Fortnite's all about. Epic battles at an epic battle level. Dude, with 100 players, you're not going to see that.
Dude, it'd just be crazy to have an event where you have thousands of people there to just play in one game. Like that, I don't know if people understand. Like when you go right now, you go to like a CSGO tournament or like, you go to a Halo tournament, any tournament that's right now. I mean, you have teams of like 5 people and there's maybe 10 teams there, right? So you're talking about maybe 50 players total, right? 60 players total at an event. And now you're talking about 100 people at an event. Like that, it would get a little outrageous just to let everybody know. I mean, it'd be pretty crazy. Well, dude, hey, thanks so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for spending your time coming on here. Thank you so much for the content you give to the community. And I want to personally thank you that, we've done podcasting. We've been around doing this for a while. And I mean, your response to us was incredible. I mean, dude, you messaged us immediately back saying, absolutely, I'll jump on. Absolutely, you can use my tips. So I just want to say, publicly, thank you so much for being a positive influence in our community, being open and coming on and spending some time with us today. We really appreciate that.
Yep. And I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Again, I'm also equally as honored to be in that position to where other people want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah.
It's a very weird position to be in, but I appreciate it.
Right.
And yeah, guys, the YouTube tips are free. Go snag them. Go watch them. Enjoy the videos. Put a lot of time in. A lot of sweaty hours in.
Yeah, tell everybody where all they can find
yeah.
you, like what times, when you upload videos, when you stream, all that.
Right. So my typical daily upload is about mid-afternoon EST. I aim for no later, than 6 p.m. EST. And my handles are at MonsterDFace. Same thing on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So I post content to Twitter as well, highlights, all that good stuff.
Yeah, so guys, check him out. Monster, MONSTER, the letter D, and Face, FACE. So make sure.
Oh, and we're probably going to get the question. MonsterDFace. DFace is in defacing property. You used to do a lot of graffiti back in the days.
There you go. Yeah. We forgot.
Yeah,
we didn't even talk about your art style and your name and everything.
Yeah. There's so much to me, guys. You'll learn as you guys start to follow the, what we do here at the MDF Crew. So
we'll save all that for another time when you come back in a little bit. So
cheers.
You'll have to come back and tell us some of that story and some of your art design prior to this.
Yep.
Hey guys, make sure you're checking them out. Make sure you're giving them a follow. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you guys enjoyed the show. You can shoot us a review on iTunes, leave us your comments on Podbean, and as always, you can send your complaints to FortnitePodcast@gmail.com. Tell us what you like and what you dislike about the show. You can follow us on Twitter at Fortnite Podcast. You can follow me, TwoLoudTX, TWOLOUDTX, Nolxero, NOLXERO. Make sure you check out the official Fortnite Reddit pages as well, Fortnite and Fortnite BR. And as always, guys, until next time, dance at those kills and boast in those victory royales.